try and work yourself out of a job. Trying to work yourself out of your job is probably your greatest form of job security when we look at it biblically. Give, and it shall be given unto you. If you try and save your life, you're going to lose it. But if you lose your life for my sake, you're going to find it in the end. No greater love has any man than this, and he laid down his life for a friend. Those are just 3 small Bible verses that talk about giving everything, and then you'll be given so much more in return. Obviously, there's so many contexts we could talk about that in, but I believe as worship leaders, and I've seen it in my own life and the lives of hundreds of worship leaders that I've worked with, the more stagnant you become, the more tight-fisted you become like a pond, and there's no water running into you, there's no water running out of you. That's where bugs live and just nasty stuff that you don't want. But as you are a stream, there's fresh water coming in, there's fresh water going out, and there's this constant flow. That is when life truly happens in your heart as a worship leader and on your worship team. There are seasons of my life when I had like 5, 6, 7, 8 phenomenal worship leaders underneath me at my church. And some of them were even more talented than I was. But the way that I was able to do that and not worry about, oh my goodness, what if they take over my position, is that you don't get your identity as a worship leader from being a worship leader. You have to get your identity from Him. What does God say about you? Has God called you to be in this position? Yes, He has. Then just need to rest assured that sometimes in that position, you'll find great promotion and amazing things will happen. And sometimes in that position, demotion might come or challenges might come. But through it all, my identity is not in what I'm doing as a worship leader or what other people would say about me as a worship leader. My identity is in what the Lord says about me. And this is like a great paradox, right? It's like, hey, if you want to save your life, lose it. Okay, that doesn't make any sense in the natural. Like, no, I live in like a modern age. That doesn't make any sense. So as worship leaders, try and work yourself out of a job. How many worship leaders do you have on your team that you're raising up? If you don't have any, I encourage you to find some. Tell your drummer to do the same thing. Tell your guitar player to do the same thing. Hey, who are you raising up as a young drummer who can eventually take your place? Now, we're not trying to get people to have like false humility complexes or whatever, which false humility is ultimately pride. We want people to be excellent. We want them to be in their positions. And it's not like I'm working myself out of a job, so I can just like, hey, pastor, I found somebody else to take my place. So, that can be a good thing. That can be a really blessing to your church if you ever were called away. But the goal is to have people come up underneath you because you are aware that your identity or in your confidence is not in anything that any man can take from you. We can look at the Bible and so many scriptures like thrown in prison, beaten, shipwrecked. Man tries to have their way, or the enemy tries to have their way with the followers of Jesus. But if those followers of Jesus are submitted to the Lord and to His purposes and to His plans, and they'll always have a position in the kingdom of God. Yeah, I think what sets the Worship Leader Academy apart from pretty much all the other trainings out there is the coaching. Every training has pre-recorded teachings that you watch, and they typically have, once a month you're in a coaching session with, 20 to 200 other worship leaders. With the Worship Leader Academy, all of my clients get unlimited one-on-one personal access to me. And this is honestly my favorite part about the Academy, is going back and forth with people and really getting in the trenches with them with where they're at in their worship leading. I started the Worship Leader Academy because I really wanted to see worship leaders steward what God had given them in the realm of on-stage leadership, off-stage leadership, songwriting, and pursuing the creative gift that they have. And most worship leaders get discovered, if you will, in high school when some youth leader sees, oh my goodness, you can sing and play at the same time, like, can you be our worship leader? And as a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, you're like, yes, that'd be amazing, I'd love to serve the Lord with my gift. And then you find yourself 10, 15, 20 years later doing it, 45 to 50 weekends a year, and you're like, I've never been trained for this. How do I do this? I started just wanting to love Jesus with my gift, but there's a lot more that goes into being a worship leader for the long haul. It's honestly been such an honor to have several hundred worship leaders go through this academy thus far. And what I love about it is people come for the content of the academy and we see them change and transformed. But I've had people inside my academy for years, and they really stick around for the community. And the community, a lot of it is available for absolutely free. I have a Facebook group, the Worship Leader Academy. I have tons of blogs on my Instagram and on my YouTube channel where you can literally take action and begin to transform as a worship leader today for free. After doing the Worship Leader Academy for a couple of years, people started to reach out to me and say, hey, it was a great 6 months, but we want more. And so I created a second program, kind of a stepping stone next level, to something called Journey, which then brings in 3 hours a month of co-writing on Zoom. So we have Zoom groups all over the world, people co-writing worship songs together. And then they begin to say, we want to record these songs. So I was like, I guess I have to create something else. And so kind of our signature program right now is called Recharge. It's held once a year with 10 people. We eat amazing food together, we hang out, we have times of worship and prayer, and then each person records a song, and this song is literally, gets to a point where it's ready to upload to Spotify right from this event called Recharge. Yeah, so I would encourage anyone, any worship leader, singer, musician, or songwriter, if you are done kind of just listening to teachings, which we have endless amounts of teaching coming at us all the time through social media and through YouTube, and if you want to go to that next level and actually get a human being, a coach, to come alongside you and walk with you in the day-to-day to begin to guide you down the path that you need to go, I want to encourage you to shoot me an email down below. I'd love to have a conversation with you.